Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Eva. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe if you like this, and if you are old to this channel, welcome back. I actually decided today to do a slightly different video. It's going to be probably more informative and chatty video. Well, informative in case I remember a lot of information about the topic I want to talk about. But I had a small teeth transformation, in the sense that I've done a procedure, more sort of cosmetic procedure, which I want to talk about today and tell you a little bit more about it. I wrote a full blog post, which if you want to kind of read through and have some sort of recap and also information and the link to the website and maybe a little bit more info about the whole process and why I decided to go for it, I'm going to link down the article below in the description box. But I will also talk you through everything, why I decided to do this, and obviously my journey from before to now, and my sort of current smile, if we can call it this way. So when I was 13, I went to a casting to probably one of the most well-known modeling agencies in Czech Republic, called Czechoslovak Models, and the owner Milada Karasová, who I believe still runs it. She discovered models, top models, for example, like Eva Herzigová and other really big names, and they're still in the market. They're still definitely one of the market leaders. And obviously, just to kind of have the background, imagine you're 13 years old, you're a teenager, you're very sensitive about these things. Your wall at your own living room is covered by pictures of Cindy Crawford and all the kind of like 90s supermodels. Like, my room was covered with Elle magazine and all the big magazines you could actually get back then in Czech Republic. And because obviously I was tall and everything, and people were telling me, oh, you should be a model and XYZ, but I knew very little about obviously the discipline and how much perfection you actually need to have, with basically no information whatsoever. I went to this casting, and Milada was really lovely. I was shaking. I remember still like today how nervous I was, and she basically said, you've got all the right attributes and everything, but you've got gaps in your teeth. And I was like, what? I mean, until then I didn't really think of, such a small thing and gaps in the teeth. And she explained to me, obviously it may not look like a big problem, but then photographers are moaning if the teeth are not perfect. So you're very young, you're 13, go get braces, sort your teeth, and come back 2 years later. And the idea of having, one of those ugly permanent braces when your dream just been crashed, and when you're 13 and you go to school and there's things like, bullying, and a certain kind of image is just not recommended. That's how I felt back then. Obviously now I look at it and it's like, I want to laugh. I mean, there's nothing bad with braces. So many adults wear it now, and it's meant to be, it's almost seen as a cool thing at the moment. But I've done some research, went to some orthodontists, and there we go. They gave me one of those braces, basically you just wear overnight. So I was wearing them for a few years and the gaps closed. But for how long? And I kind of like stopped because I never really worked like in terms of modeling. It was never kind of like my main career. It was just basically something on the side, something I enjoyed, bits and pieces of work here and there. Then when I came to London, I've done some work here as well, but it never occurred to me I'm gonna do it at the top level. So I didn't really think, or it even didn't come to my mind, the gaps are back, until I actually start YouTube. Maybe not even YouTube, but everything that is more kind of motion, so things like Snapchats and Insta stories. And then I realized the gaps are there. In a way, I am a bit of like perfectionist, so every time I was looking at the video, it was always like my eyes would always go into the gap. And I told a couple of friends and they're like, don't worry about it, it's nothing big, you should not really worry about it, but it just was on my mind. And it almost looked like the bottom one, I think it was here, was quite, the gap in my eyes was quite big, and you can actually see that on the pictures before and after in the blog post. And I'll try to insert it here. That every time I spoke, it almost looked like the teeth are not straight. But every dentist where I went then to kind of for consultation, they said, no, your teeth are straight. Maybe this one a little bit, but there's no really need for braces in terms of kind of like straight teeth, maybe to close the gaps. So I made up my mind after doing some research. I was so 100% sure I was gonna get Invisaligns. Obviously it's not the cheapest thing in the world, so I started to go around and do some research. Now I've worked with some lovely clinic down at Victoria. However, as much as I love them, the price they quoted was just way too high, and also the practicality of me to commute always over an hour somewhere to the dentist, and obviously I've got the baby. I needed something closer that has got, you know, that's going to deliver the same results, have got really good reputation. So I've done, I spoke to a couple of clinics, and I actually decided to find something local, and I found one which is quite nearby where I live, near Dulwich. So I went for consultations, which were free, and little did I know when the lovely doctor told me, I don't think, you know, Invisalign is a solution here. I don't think you need it. I could not believe what he was saying. I mean, after so many people quoting 4,000, 3,500, 3,600, 3,250, he said, he basically talked me through obviously what the issues are. He said my teeth are naturally a little bit smaller, they are straight, and he basically has got a different solution which he then explained. The solution is called bonding, which is very often used when you basically just simply want to close gaps but you don't want to wear braces. I still had kind of Invisalign in my mind, but he said to me, basically, I'll save you money, and it's going to be obviously instant. The result is instant, and it's going to take maybe a few sessions to actually sort and close all the gaps. So what they do, in simple words, they just basically model the teeth with obviously the special, what do you call it, special glue. They kind of like glue an extension on the teeth and obviously model it and shape it to close the gaps. Isn't that amazing? But I didn't know about this until then. What was going on through my mind is obviously advantages and disadvantages. Obviously advantages of Invisaligns would be, you know, you're working with your natural teeth, there's nothing extra in your mouth. It should be permanent if you wear your retainers. But then on the other hand, things like price, is it comfortable? There is definitely, although people don't say that, there's going to be some sort of pain. It's more like, in my mind, I was already preparing myself. Oh, okay, oh my god, I won't be able to drink red wine because obviously, you know, to take it in and out when you're in a restaurant all the time, because you've got the trays, and every time you want to eat or drink something else that is not water, you have to then go and brush your teeth and then put the trays back in your mouth. And obviously there's things like the consultations in between and getting new trays. I don't exactly remember how often I would need to see the doctor, but obviously you have to go for checkups. So bonding, going back to that, the deal was after the consultation that next time we were going to do one tooth, which was the bottom one that bothered me the most, and we're going to do it as a trial. If I don't feel like it, the doctor would then take the bit out again, the extra part of the tooth, and we could go back to Invisaligns. He just said, do a couple of videos, or if that is what bothers you, how it looks on the camera, do a couple of videos, come back, and if you're happy with it, if you're happy with the work, with the shape, and I think with everything in general, and if you're comfortable with it, then we'll do all of them. And I loved it. I instantly saw the difference. Obviously the gap was no longer there. I just had the smaller gaps like at the top, and I was like, this is amazing. So we then booked another 2 sessions that were probably just over an hour long, and we closed all the gaps I had. I think there was probably around 8. Now the price for this at this clinic, and I'm gonna link it down below, is £120 per gap. So if you look at it roughly, it works out £1,000 as opposed to, let's say, 3.5 or whatever. I think most people for full Invisaligns, which I was told I would need the full ones, they quote probably somewhere in the range of 3 to 4.5, maybe even more at some clinics, £1,000. So obviously this was a cheaper solution for me, instant solution. The only disadvantage is I was told that after 5 years I may need to maybe have it redone, at least some of them, but it really depends on the individuals, how you look after your teeth. But the way I was thinking is, okay, if this is not going to work for me, or even if in 5 years, or even next year, if I decide to go for Invisalign and I say I don't like this and I want to work with my natural teeth, you can take this off, like the same dentist or whoever else, they can take it off, and you can go to your plan number A, which would be internal braces, Invisalign, normal braces, whatever it is, to close the gaps. But I am absolutely in love with the results. It's just amazing. I can't keep smiling now because obviously it's just so much nicer when you have got, you know, no gaps in your teeth, and you know, if you have the same issue or maybe even worse issues and you finally have got your perfect smile, you know what I'm talking about. You just know what I'm talking about. And for some people this may be really shallow, this may be no big deal, but I think nice smile, nice teeth are definitely one of the key things. It looks just professional. Like, I think in any industry, you know, when you come to a meeting and you see a nice lovely smile, and there's a reason why so many people invest in this, they look after their teeth, you know, they've got you know, cosmetic changes done on their teeth, and they've got things like wieners, you know, there's just reason why people do this. So yeah, so this is my journey, and I hope you like it. If you have any questions, just basically pop it down below. I hope I mentioned it, but there was no pain at all. You know, you just basically sit in a chair. The only thing is you may get tired because your mouth is constantly open when the doctor's actually doing it. But other than that, there was no issue. So yeah, my new smile, thanks to bonding, thanks to Smile Dental Practice at East Croydon. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye!